So LSA eSports versus Lindner. You guys remember the speed skater? We just need Ono in there. Apollo and Anton doing the stacking with the Lindner. Never thought I'd have a speed skating Olympic reference during an FSL match. All right, here we go. 15 minutes. First of the best of 3 between these two teams. Our second game of Group B as Zerzerus beat someone from LSA to the ideal. Very well done. Crashed that vulture right into the back of it and got there before. Anton in the case harvester. Lennox grabbing the case baler. Zerzerus and Apollo, look at this pattern they're going in here. Both in the ideals. The blue team, because they didn't get the second ideal, have had to settle for the case. That's not the worst thing, though. I like all the speculation or all the dreams about crazy stuff to do with the FSL. You guys are great. I love all the crazy schemes and things that you come up with. All right, so FaReX heading with the first bale now. So first bale points are all based on time. The actual equation to decide first bale points is a crazy list. So if you want to dive further into it, go check out the stat sheet. It's listed on there. 124 for Lindner. Lennox, meanwhile, has gotten stuck, and he is going to go for a ride. Ooh, oh my goodness. Lennox, not a great start for LSA, as the baler is stuck on that bridge. Goodness. So a great start for Lindner, not so great for LSA. What's up, Game Bunny? Yes, but are they as fast as the speed skater? Well, speed is key in the FSL, but you also, like we just saw with Lennox, you have to make sure that you're going with a combination of speed and precision, because one tiny little mistake can cost you. Lennox has had to now go for the New Holland baler, and he's just going to leave the case baler where it was. So first bale points are pretty much off the board now for LSA. Their first bale points will likely be scored when they're ready to deliver their first set of bales. All right, Felden, I'll give you credit. That's better than your last one. It's not the worst case scenario for them. Well done. The LSA has had to adapt and go with the case combine at the beginning because they were beaten to the ideal, and then they had to go grab the New Holland baler, I think, because they left the case baler on the bridge. A little bit of a mistake by Lennox. So Sören and Lennox we see on the screen now. Anton behind them in the case harvester. They're loading up some grain in the grain cart. We've got bridges raised and speed limit as the 12-minute drops. It looks like someone from LSA is going for these. Gonna go for speed limit, looks like. All right, so Anton picks up speed limit. That'll slow down Lindner by 20%. Just over 11 minutes to go here. First of the best of 3 between these two teams. FaReX is bringing the horse in towards the silo, ready to deliver some grain. I'm not sure what the status is for LSA. There we go, right on cue. Producer switches the camera. So both teams ready to deliver grain. So this is pretty much going to cancel each other out. Actually, Lennox is going to leave it. Meanwhile, Lindner are delivering it. Lennox is leaving. So will Lindner take advantage? They only have 2 bales pressed, but if they go deliver them now, that would be 60 points. You're talking about potentially 20 extra points scored early in the round if you choose to do this. It didn't. Yeah, it is at 3.0. It's at 3.0 to 1. The belt has stopped for LSA. And LSA seem like they're leaving their grain cart at the silo. And what they're going to do then is fill up both of their harvesters and then drive the harvesters over to the silo, pull it up near the grain cart, and then empty all that grain at one time. So what Lindner needs to do in the meantime is take advantage of this multiplier advantage and score some points before LSA have the time to get back over there and cancel it out. FaReX going back for the tractor here. That poor case Baylor still just hanging out on the middle drawbridge. If the other team goes across a drawbridge, by the way, it actually lifts the drawbridge for the opposing team side. So I wonder if they go across their side in the middle enough, if that Baylor is going to budge at all. Also, the problem is basically what LSA have done by getting that stuck on the bridge and leaving it there is they've limited their travel options to only 2 of the drawbridges or the 1 static bridge until they move that thing out of the way, if they move that thing out of the way. Having a look at Zerzerus and the Lindner, 4-team Lindner. Gonna go pick up some bales, I would assume. Might be going to hook up to the grain cart. The old combine grain chain. You know it, Feldon. There is a giveaway going on. It's pinned on YouTube. On Twitch, I'm about to put the command in chat. Again, it's for a copy of Farming Simulator 22. Maybe you've heard of it. And if you enter the giveaway, you don't have to stick around for the entire stream. So if you have to go out for whatever reason, have no fear. You have to put your email in on Gleam. The winner will be contacted via email. Anton now getting the case harvester stuck. This is a tough harvester to maneuver through this area because you have to have the header down on the ground or you won't make it. It's not easy. So here's Lindner grabbing bales with the Anderson, but they've not delivered any. They could have extended their lead by now to even more. I think Lennox just tried to hop out of that tractor and grab bale multiplier, but kept on rolling past. Is he going to go for speed up? I mean, deliver the bales, guys. There's been a baler streak for LSA because they've grabbed another baler, but that doesn't really matter so much. I just don't understand why teams don't take advantage of the multiplier. Like, the amount of time Lindner had that in their favor, they could have delivered at least half of the bales they have now. But they didn't do it. And now the multiplier is in LSA's favor. So a huge missed opportunity, in my opinion, for Lindner there. It's 2.7 in the favor of LSA now. Lindner are bringing more grain in, but a massively missed opportunity. Interesting. It looks like by the end of this, it's just going to be a 2-to-2 multiplier. So now either team having an advantage is gone. It's just going to be as you were. And right now, LSA has a lot of catching up to do. But Lindner could have made it worse on them. They had a very good opportunity there to score 30 points per bale. But instead, they've decided to just wait and bring them all in at once, which could pay off as well because they've got 14 on the back, and Zerzerus is trying to grab 2 more here. In fact, he'll go for the 3rd one as well, I would imagine, since he has the manure fork. They've got to time this right, but this could potentially now be a bale pressive at the minimum for Lindner. if they get these right. They're going to put them in via the top, though. So it's going to come down to the stacking, but they have the bales there. I'm not sure. When you go to that link, it should say when the contest ends. I would assume the winner's picked at the end of the stream and then contacted via email. But I'm not sure exactly how long it runs. Oh, tomorrow. So it's all weekend long, the giveaway. It's only one weekend one giveaway for the entire weekend. Welcome back, Alex. So you've not missed much. You missed Lindner. So LSA messed up the first bale points. Lennox got stuck on the bridge. You can see it in the distance there.
Bale points, so.
You can see it in the distance there. The bale is still stuck on the bridge in the middle. So that's what happened. Lennox got stuck and then left the baler. Lindner had a 3-to-1 advantage for probably 2 to 3 minutes and didn't bring any bales in, or they could have been even further ahead. And now we're coming down to, it's going to come down to which team gets the most bales in at the end, who makes the least amount of stakes. Potentially we're seconds away from the super drop. Maybe that could change things.
So a fairly normal game that we've got here so far.
I mean, kind of.
Not.
Oh, bottom boost. Like that could be huge.
That could. 79 seconds on it as well.
Here comes Lennox for it. LSA need this. They need this. Especially because they're there now with the Anderson loader, and he's waiting for Lennox to get it, and he's going to dump them into the bottom. Here it goes. So we're going to actually see this utilized properly. So Zerzerus is going to try to counter.
Right.
Oof.
And
Bale-tastic.
Oh,
it was a Bale-tastic, so he countered the Bale Pressive, which is actually more points. You counter that one, but... Okay, well, that makes things interesting then. Bottom boost is kind of giving LSA a lifeline. It's wild because Lennox got that baler stuck right at the beginning of the round, and basically the entire round, because they left it there, they've not been able to use the middle bridge at all.
But I should suspect that stopped Lindner using the middle bridge either.
Well, they can still go across it, and lift it and everything, but LSA have not been able to use it at all. But man, this bottom boost is even things out. He's waiting to counter, and he got it wrong.
Oh,
unfortunately.
He missed it.
So Bale-tastic for Lindner
ever so slightly wrong.
Has given Lindner the lead now. Okay. And now the problem for LSA is the bale difference. So even though they got the bottom boost, they're now 10 bales behind.
Cost LSA. And here we go. Lindner going further into the lead. 514 to... There we go. 554 to 480. LSA need to get these bales in quickly. Oh, wow. See what you mean by the bale difference. That's an 8 bale deficit.
Yeah. And almost 100 points between them, too, with 1:50 to go. So it doesn't look like good news for LSA. Without the bottom boost, they'd be even worse off here. But it also came down to like counter points and then mistiming a counter as well. So it wasn't just down to the error at the beginning of the round, but yeah, massive gap in the first bale points too did not help. I don't see anything changing here. Like Lindner has this one unless they just have all their bales drop off the belt or something. A 214-point lead now. That's going to be hard to close in a minute with the bale count against you.
Yeah, with a single Anderson, that's not possible. And they don't even have that.
No, they do not. Lindner was bringing theirs in. So yeah, Lindner's going to take this first round of this best of 3.
All things considered, though, this is a good score from both teams.
Yeah, not bad. LSA needs to make sure that they don't make that same mistake on the first bale again. because not only did they miss out on the first bale points, but it just set them behind because then Lennox had to go grab a different baler. As we see Sören going up into the top of the barn. A little showmanship. This is the first one of the best of 3, Kurt. And victory for Lindner.
There we go.
Well, I know you missed a lot of that one, but you know, it was pretty much Lindner's from the start. Lindner didn't make any mistakes really, and well, you know, it's easier. You waste less time bringing a lot of bales in, right? Like if you don't have it, then you have to bring them in individually, like on the front of a stacker. So if you don't have transport company, you need really 2 good stackers on the front of a tractor to bring bales in, but you're also spending time not pressing bales to bring them in. And then also with the Anderson loader, you have more of a potential for combo points because you bring in 14 on the back of it with a full load. And then if you bring in some on the front as well, you've got, you know, enough there to get you to the second tier, the bale impressive of the combos. So it definitely is a powerful team perk, and you can see why it's the favorite team perk tactic for sure.
The thing that I am wondering though is if you got 2 balers out there, which could both carry 3 bales, could you keep 2 tractors and balers coming in all the time, and have a stacker there just stacking those constantly? And would that offset it if you were to pick up another perk that would maybe help you, like you know, raising the bridges?
Yeah, bottleneck is not a bad, like Cortiva used it really well. It raises the 2 innermost bridges on the opponent's side. So 134 for Lindner, 128 for LSA. Good first bales by both teams there. A lot better go around this time for Lennox of LSA. Not getting stuck on the bridge.
Hollow coming round, filling up that ideal. They've got the ideal and the John Deere on LSA's side, and the case and the ideal on Lindner's side.
FaReX running the John Deere baler for Team Lindner, who are 1 win away from advancing to play Valtra for a chance to make it to the quarterfinals. I think perks are a good way of switching up how the gameplay works, Kurt, but I do think that there needs to be some consideration into balancing of the perks going forward for Season 4, because Transport Company is arguably too powerful and needs a way to be nerfed. And what I've heard suggested, and I like this idea of a way to disrupt people using Transport Company all the time, is maybe they should allow in the ban phase the ability to ban team perks. Because then if you go up against a team that you think is only comfortable with Transport Company or any other perk, you ban it instead of a piece of equipment. And maybe it costs you a point or 2. But that would be a huge way to disrupt someone that scores a lot of points using Transport Company.
It would be wonderfully disruptive as well.
Definitely.
Really disruptive.
So I don't know if that is a solution or not, but that's a good idea, I think. I think it was Big Daddy from the Sim Game Alliance, who has been practicing the FSL a lot, that I first heard that idea from, and I quite like it because I don't want to see team perks go away. I think they're a great way to add extra bit of strategy in, but there does need to be some consideration in the future season of how to make more than one team perk viable to be used on a regular basis, because we're just not getting a whole lot of variety right now with what teams are picking. Very rarely does someone deviate from Transport Company intentionally. We've seen Manitou using herbicide a bit recently in tournaments. I'll be interested tomorrow to see, when we've got Group C and D playing, whether they will use herbicide in these group stages of the championship or not. As we've got a 3-1 currently, but Lindner are there ready to counter this and deliver grain at the silo. So this is going to end up being 2.0 to 2.0.
Will FSL come to consoles with the FS22? We don't know yet. Twisted Soccer.
Long-term goal, we would love to see it. You have dedicated servers, the ability to connect to them on console and FS22. So that's the first hurdle, but we're not talking about something that's going to happen in like just a few months. We're talking long-term here, at least a year, if not more away, because it's also going to have to be built for consoles, right? It's not been developed yet for consoles, and it's not even been developed for PC yet on 22. So it's going to be more of a long-term thing. You know, our focus, our developers' focus, our coders and our artists has been fully on Farming Simulator 22, which comes out in 9 days. And then after that, the work doesn't stop on 22 either. So, you know, we only have a limited amount of manpower. The company is scaling, and we're hoping to grow even more. I have a feeling that you guys are going to make 22 a huge success, which will help Giants as a company grow even more, which just means better things for the players and fans of our game going forward. There's a couple of drops, or a super drop that deletes bales from the other team. I don't think there's anything that takes grain away from the other team, but that could be an interesting drop too if there was like a grain rot or something like that, or maybe you have like an infestation drop or something like that.
People taking the mickey out of me for my spelling now.
That wouldn't be bad either,
Right,
Belden.
well-
Banning the piece of equipment from the perk, so you ban the Anderson and they only get like half of the size of a loader. That'd be interesting as well. Not a bad idea. I love the ideas.
Just thinking, we do have. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was just thinking whether we had anything under Arcusan that took less bales.
Gotcha.
I suppose the 4-stack does, but try to deliver stuff with the 4-stack would be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Direct delivery and speed up are 8-minute drops. Direct delivery could be useful here, especially if one team gets it and the other does not. But also, close to this time of the game, teams aren't interested in harvesting so much anymore. Anton's picked up speed up.
Yep.
That's a good idea too, Harv. They can't pick the same perk in game 2 as game 1. The cow
That would
blizzard
require a lot
work.
of external configuration, though, I think, as opposed to stuff that just runs when the when you go in and join a game.
Transport company has to use the forklift. That's not a bad.
Oh God.
The problem is like if you try to balance it too much, then you're gonna have like the opposite effect. Like we definitely need to find the right balance. I don't have the answer to that. Like, you know, I'm not making those kind of decisions from an esports like organization standpoint.
It's one of those things where you want it to be able to be that you come in and a team can come in with the strategy that will work against one perk and won't work against another.
Right.
And that means, so if everything's well balanced, then a team can come in and they can play, and then they may not know what the other team is going to play against them with.
I like it, Felden. I like it. Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more variety. I think it would just make for... It's already interesting enough and entertaining, but being able to see more variety, you would start seeing more teams pulling off upsets. You know, I don't think there would be as much of a domination for example.
I'd like to see more things introduced that allow teams to disrupt their opponents.
Right. Because that's pretty much like you said earlier, like the only way, I mean, maybe this is generalizing it too much, but your best bet of trying to beat Trelleborg right now is either them making a mistake or you disrupting them well to where they can't react to it. And they are pretty good at adapting to disruptions still. So, they've been dominant this season. They haven't won every tournament. They've been runners up a lot too, but they've won the most tournaments. They're first place for a reason. And they've just been by far the most consistent team. And they've finished, they're like Vulture are a good team as well, but they almost had 300 more circuit points than Vulture overall this season. So
it would be good to have stuff that you can do that. You come in and it's stuff you can do to disrupt the team.
Incredible Mouse isn't wrong as well. You have to admit most games are pretty close, meaning there's actually a good balance that forces skill to succeed. Yeah, but see, at the same time as that, like, yeah, it is often, though, like for like, because teams will go with Transport Company. It looks like LSA decided to go for some bonus points and just dump theirs into the bottom, despite the fact that they could get double the points per bale. They've picked up a bale pressive, though, so 150 bonus points there for LSA. And switching it up a little bit, which they need to do here to force a third game.
That actually is pretty cool.
I like seeing teams
going themselves up to 526 points.
I like seeing teams do a combo of that, like putting them into the bottom to get a bonus, but also putting the majority into the top and scoring them on the multiplied points. It's a very good little that in itself was a disrupt, and I don't think Lindner was expecting that to happen.
That was something Lindner were not expecting them to do at all, and now Lindner are massively on the back foot. And you have to wonder, there's 300 points sitting there.
And when you pre-order Farming Simulator 22, it comes out November 22nd. There's a question on Facebook. You can preload it if it's through our eShop. You can preload it starting on the 20th, but that just downloads the game. It doesn't unlock until the 22nd at midnight Central European time. And that varies based on the platform you get it on. All right. 2.5 to go. Alex, what do you think? Has those combo points, is that going to be enough for LSA? I mean, it's 150 points. It's pretty much.
If LSA can get the rest of their bales in, then I think that's going to be enough. There's only 5 bales in it. 5 bales is only 50 points difference. 50 points difference will not win this.
Right. I think that was a good bit of disruption too, because if you're Lindner, you're thinking, and you have a glance over, because the teams can see each other on the other side of the map. They're probably thinking, we've got time to get in and counter them, because they're going to dump them on the ground. And then all of a sudden they put them in and score the combo points instead. And it's 150 extra points on the board there. That's, I think, going to make the difference.
And that's still more points than they would have got if they put them in the top.
Right.
Putting all those bales in there and getting a bale pressive, it's 14 bales, which is 140 points, putting it in the top. 150 points putting it in the bottom is 10 extra points. So it's worth throwing them in the bottom.
Right.
While you have a 2 times multiplier.
A little bit closer now with 1:15 to go. So Lindner still have a chance if LSA were to have a bale or two fall off. But LSA has the bale advantage. There's a counter, meanwhile, for LSA.
And LSA countered.
So that was good timing by LSA. And they have a 2-point lead at the moment. But Anton having some trouble now with the bales. Here comes Apollo with more in for Lindner.
Get those bales on there, because,
Lindner are about to briefly take the lead here. 754 to 736. Anton doesn't have any on the belt at the moment. We're going to put one into the bottom. 34 seconds to go. I don't think there's enough time to get all of these into the top. So Lindner might actually do this after all. 804 to 766. It's going to be close.
20 seconds is all they need to get bales on that conveyor up. This is very late for Lindner putting these on, and he's got bales falling off.
Oh,
wow. LSA are in the lead, and well in the lead, actually.
Yep,
I think they've got this.
866, 886, 906.
There we go.
864, it closed a little bit. 926, I think.
Impressive.
Yes, horses are in FS22. That was impressive. Really well done by LSA. So we're going to a third in this one, which is good to see.
It is. It's great to see it. We don't often see that because it tends to lose out to the John Deere that's got banned. New Holland, and there is the ideal. So third pad down the hill is where the ideal is, and both teams are away. Looking like LSA are getting a slightly better start here. Can they turn that into grabbing that ideal? And yes, they can. Just. Oh, that was close. And they've got the New Holland as well. So both that ideal and that New Holland. While Lindner have grabbed the ideal that they have pre-selected, and they are kicking off around the field. Lennox following up behind for LSA. Trying to get that first bale created as quickly as they can. While Lindner is already on their way to the bale. But that's quite a long run they've got to get that in. But Lindner is heading across the bridge. As LSA aren't quite there. This is going to go first ill to Lindner, who do a 132.
Ooh, nice.
With a slide. Well, as LSA are taking a little bit slower.
Hey, still better than getting stuck on the bridge right away with it.
Absolutely.
So this is our second game of Group B. The winner faces Valtra. The loser will face Diaka Anfeld in the loser's bracket, since we have double elimination. Is this only the second time, or is it the third time now that we've had it go to best of 3?
This is the second time.
Because we've had Bednar and John Deere. And that's Game 5, the loser's bracket of Group A went to best of 3. So yeah, this is the second. I think you are correct.
I've forgotten this had gone to best of 3.
The sun is up and out in full strength here now, by the way. So I'm nice and awake.
Morning has broken, as they say.
At this point.
It is now
8 a.m.
It is now
roughly.
12 minutes past 3 here, and the sun is on its way down. Give me another hour and I'll be in complete darkness.
Sounds about right.
Because the UK is way further north than everybody realizes. I mean, we're in line with Siberia here. Right, Lennox is taking it empty, so that combine is empty. He's going to go and fill up the other one, and we've got our first drop. It is a bale multiplier and bridges lowered. At this point, neither of those are particularly useful to either team.
Although, you know, I have an argument to make there that, like, if Lindner has 3 bales and they have a stacker capable of bringing all 3 in, and it's right there at the barn, so you could bring them in, put them into the bottom, and you're going to score 15 points per bale, or put them in the top, you'll score 35 points per bale. So
my thing would be both teams are emptying, so you've got to take somebody off emptying and sacrifice grain.
Right. With everything, you have
Or
to weigh the risk versus the
yeah,
reward, right? For
I think
sure.
compared to some other options, I would say at this point, if I was to see direct delivery at this point, I think direct delivery should be a pick every time. But direct, as you said many times, direct delivery at minute 8 isn't, because
Right.
people aren't particularly harvesting at that point.
Right.
By the same thought, I think bale multiplier at minute 12 isn't much use. A bale multiplier at minute 8 is.
Right.
And that's,
It all comes down to when they drop and if you can
yeah.
get them where they drop as well. Looks like our multipliers are going to be completely evened up here at 2 times apiece, with just over 10 minutes to go, and this winner takes all. The winner of this advances into the winner's bracket. It's not all hope lost for the team that loses, because they'll still have a chance. And this could potentially, we could see a rematch of this match potentially too in the loser's bracket. Winner plays
Whoever,
Valtra in our next match.
yeah. Which will be an very interesting match, I think. And the big Vulture now being pulled out for doing the baling. This is yeah. I haven't seen that. Just trying to think if we've seen that Kuhn Baler in the. No, so not seen that. Oh, hang on. I think we got a brand new Kuhn Baler for FS22, haven't we? Square one by the looks of things. So, yeah.
New bale sizes in FS22.
Oh,
Be
yeah.
interesting to see if that ever comes into play in the FSL in the future as well.
That would be very interesting. Yeah, do you get larger bales and fewer of them, or do you get smaller bales?
There's there's an idea if like FSL ever comes. We were talking about how to counteract Transport Company. Transport Company gets these standard size bales, but potentially you could get a baler and not use Transport Company and get bigger bales, and so you're bringing in more liters per bale. That'd be an interesting way to counter it too. Who knows what the future holds? We have no clue. There's so much potential, though. If you think about it, like this is the group stages of the Season 3 World Championship, and it'll be wrapped up at the finals next month. But it's still in its infancy as an esport, the Farming Simulator League. So the ceiling is still very high for how much further it can grow, both in popularity and within the game itself, how the game plays. So it's going to evolve over time and continue to get better, in my opinion. So as long as you guys keep showing up and supporting it, and these manufacturers, oh, careful, Anton.
Oh, most in the water.
Oh, man. As more manufacturers get interested as well in sponsoring the FSL and also sponsoring teams, we're working on growing it in North America. I know Alex has said that there is interest from teams in the UK as well to get involved. And then, that doesn't even touch half of the globe as well. So who knows what it'll look like.
Yeah, we've had,
by the end of the cycle of FS22, who knows what FS22 and, for that matter, the FSL will look like. It's going to be interesting the next few years.
We've had interest in teams from South Africa as well, and Australia, and it truly is. There truly are people who would like to take part in this worldwide.
Some of our Brazilian ambassadors and the Brazilian community run their own FSL stuff too. They're streaming it in Brazilian Portuguese on I think Twitch and other platforms, and so they're trying their best to get it going there. So in a long-term plan, I would love to see like this is called the World Championship, but really it's just European teams competing. It's about like winners of the Super Bowl calling themselves champions of the world, and it's only played in one country.
Yeah.
By teams from one country.
Or
at least.
the baseball World Series.
Yeah, so the World Series. But to be fair, that one is at least played in 2 countries because we do have some Canadian teams in the MLB. But yeah, I would like to see more than just Europe represented in the future.
Played in the UK now, isn't it?
But
I think there's a
teams. Yeah, they play in London some games.
But there is a British team, isn't there, in the NFL?
No, there's not. There's been talks of adding one, but there's not. They come over.
I thought there was a London team in the NFL.
No, it's basically the Jacksonville Jaguars because they can't sell out their own stadium. Often are one of the teams that go to London to play the 1 or 2 games a year that are played at Wembley. And there's been talks of adding a London team, but I don't know how logistically you could pull that off. It would be just wild to have one team all the way across the Atlantic in a league because they'd have to travel over and play like 4 or 5 home games in a row, or away games in a row, and then have 4 or 5 home games in a row to make it work, probably. A weird idea. But yeah, I'd love to see a proper world championship where we have, the different circuits from regions competing to see who they send to that world championship. But that's, again, a long-term goal. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's focus on the here and now, which is one of these teams advancing, as LSA has a 254 to 192 lead at the minute with just under 5 to go, 45 seconds away from the super drop. And the super drop made the difference last time. No, it
Sören
didn't. No, it was the combo points.
Quick turn away from that to avoid getting stuck on the bridge. Game Bunny, you're looking forward to getting FSL, FS22 and learning next week? Awesome. You and me both.
Awesome to hear that, Bunny. Are you going to be joining Daddy-O and crew on their multiplayer server?
Wet bales. 254 to 192. LSA are doing really well, actually. I'm impressed by their gameplay. He says, has a bale. Oh, bottom boost.
Ooh. And LSA is already going for it. I can see Lennox on the far side.
Away.
Lennox is getting it. This is going LSA's favor, and they've got all of these here, so Anton can start pushing these into the bottom in a second.
And Lennox Lennox.
Go for it, Anton. Why are you putting them on the top still? Put them into the bottom, man.
Just shove them in the bottom.
Put them in the bottom, man. What are you doing?
What are you doing? You got 30 seconds. Get those bales in the bottom of this barn.
Thank you.
There we... No, don't. Just put... Nobody has told him. Oh, my Lord.
How do you not know? Does he think that he won't get the multiplied points? Because bottom boost gives you the multiplier points. I don't understand. I mean, he's still going to score them anyways, to be fair, but...
He is, but it's...
I mean... Okay. I don't get it. Weird.
I just know. Communicate teams. He could be out on the field pulling more bales in now. And instead, he is mucking around putting them on the conveyor. Jeez.
The season pass is already available on pre-order on all platforms except the PlayStation Store. It'll be there when the game is launched. So you can find the pricing information if you just go search your preferred retailer. I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
$37.99 US.
There you go. Thank you, Alex.
For some reason, the Farming Simulator website is showing me American. If you buy it from the UK, it is €37.99.
Oh, Game Bunny, you're gonna get involved in the Friday night scrims? Oh, cool. Well, that's on FS19 at the moment. We're not sure when it'll be on 22. So you'll need 19 if you want to play the scrims, at least for now. Long term, it'll probably be added to 22, but we don't know what that's going to look like. So yeah, Lindner were trying to like time a combo there, but in meantime, he's left all that time with all those bales sitting there, and they need all these bales in if they're going to advance.
Oh, they are so far behind at the
Yeah,
moment.
Felden. I mean, I get that you want to get it so the other team doesn't get it, but still, why not just put those into the bottom and save yourself some time?
Yeah,
I don't
and
understand.
effort. I mean, you know, he has to line himself up and position himself right. He might as well just have thrown them in the bottom.
Unless he's
and
just
then,
like,
as
you
I
know what,
said,
I just want to keep practicing my stacking. I don't know, but it's a risk. Oh man. What's up,
If
crew?
they
How you
leave
doing?
2 bales out on the field,
Right.
I think the biggest problem at the moment is that Lindner have apart from dropping bales, Lindner just haven't got as many bales in as LSA have. They've got 26 seconds to get 9 bales in, and they're not going to do that. I mean, yes, they
close
are
a little
catching up,
but no, it's not because LSA just extended it a bit.
LSA just got some in, and here we go. Lindner is shoving them in the bottom. It's
That was
not
close
going
to
to be
a combo,
enough.
but not enough. In fact, it's going to be counterpoints right at the end for LSA. There it is.
Oh wow, yeah, there we are. And it goes 2 games to 2 games to 1 to LSA.
Did that actually come down to?
Impressive.
So take 30 away. That's 854. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered. It still wouldn't have been enough for Lindner to win with that combo counter at the
numbers
end.
of bales delivered, but Lindner put more in the bottom.